this is absolutely massive for World of Tanks World War II game mode in terms of if you're interested in getting your hands on some of those pesky British tank destroyers, and it is none other than the FV215B183 returning from the depths of buffed and debuffed all the way back up to 1650 alpha damage, so it will have just 200 less alpha damage than the top it's ever had. So yes, an increase in HE alpha damage is going to be what you're going to be able to see. So standard HE round to offset the low penetration means that yes, you'll be able to pen with more alpha damage. But don't forget, the tanks fire Hesh rounds, so this isn't the Hesh rounds getting buffed, this is the HE rounds going from the same amount as the Hesh all the way up to 1650. So yeah, you'll still be able to use the FV215B183 and of course the FV4005 down here with these exact figures right here. So yes, they're coming back. Are they in the same kind of form that they were once at? Absolutely not. The Hesh pen is gone forever. But hopefully one day we may see it back, just even if it's for an event or something like that. But for the most part, these tanks have been fairly balanced, at least in my opinion, in terms of the way that they used to play and what they currently can do now. Yeah, you can't one-shot very many tanks within the game with the FV215B183, at least with Hesh rounds, as opposed to what you used to be able to do, whereas not that rare to be able to one-shot a full health tank with these two absolute Goliaths. Now, not only have you got the FV215B183, the FV4005, the other British tank destroyer, the Badger, is getting buffed. And with this buff, we have got a reduction in reload time, which means that yes, you will have even more DPM with this tank, bringing the total DPM up by about 10% roughly, well just less than that, 7.5%, somewhere in that kind of region, which is still bonkers really when you think about it. Increasing the already ridiculous DPM of the Badger by 7% is quite a big margin, and so yeah, you'll be able to sincerely deal with a lot of those opponents that you're coming up against. And talking about dealing with the opponents that you're going to be coming up against, an extra 10mm of premium penetration means that yes, you won't have too many problems coming up against those tier 10 heavies. And so yeah, the Badger is definitely a little bit more competitive, but they're not going to be able to deal with the key problem being the speed of the tank, and there is no buffs to the speed or turret traverse, well, rotation speed even. It doesn't have a turret Eclipse. What are you even talking about? But moving on, of course, we then have probably one of the ones I'm most interested in, although being the Death Star and the FV4005 getting the HE damage back, I think that this is probably the more interesting one, and that is the Tortoise is now getting a buff to its speed by 25%, so it can go 25 kilometers an hour forward, meaning that you will be able to get into the fight in the Tortoise even faster, and you'll probably be a hell of a lot more competitive within the game using that insane DPM at tier 9 on a tank destroyer to really tear apart your opponents, and being able to get there faster and maneuver around the map is going to just make it so much more versatile. I will try and do a video on this tank and of course the FV4005 and the FV215B183 very, very soon, so stay tuned for those videos. Not only have we got, of course, the high tier tanks, we've also got buffs to the AT-15, the AT-7, the AT-8, the Churchill gun carrier. Oh my god. What an awful tank. Still not any good. They've only given it better, basically gun arc, so you can look a tiny bit more to one side, so not much there. But as far as the actual AT line, the AT-15, AT-7, AT-8, you're basically getting higher penetration on a lot of your guns. You're also getting top speed increases from 20 to 25, so it's going to be consistent throughout the entire line. You're going to be able to go faster, making them more competitive within the current meta, and I'm sure many of you will be very, very thankful that that is coming. However, down at tier 5, might be a shock to you, but the AT2 is also getting that speed boost, which makes this tank so horrible to come up against, especially if you're playing in a tier 5 tank, and that's really where I think the AT2 is probably one of the better of the lot tank destroyers in terms of the heavily armoured ones, because of that high DPM tank down at tier 5 that just tears through opponents, and the armour actually works for once on a tank destroyer with armour. So there we go. Now, moving on to the FE 4005 line, of course that was the Badger and 215B183 line, we have got some buffs to the Conway, and this comes in the count of its ammo, so yeah, not particularly the most interesting one, but now you will be able to actually carry rounds in your tank, rather than just the kind of pittance of rounds that you used to have. With the 120mm, you'll be able to carry 50 instead of 35, so yeah, you're never really going to run out of rounds with this. Then you also get the BL 5.5 inch gun going up from 30 to 40, which is, I think, if I'm right in saying, the high alpha damage gun of the Conway, and you're also getting better accuracy and aim time, bringing it more in line with some of the other tank destroyers, especially since the new German tank destroyers have come into the game in terms of the Sturm Tiger line. The health has also got increased, an extra 100, not massive, probably looking at about a 7% increase in its health. Yeah, I think it's going to be welcomed by any of those who enjoy playing the Conway, as I did. I thought that was a very, very fun tank to actually get my hands on when I first did. Now, one of probably the kind of interesting ones is the Charioteer tank destroyer is also getting a buff, and that comes in the form of the 20-pounder guns that you can actually attach onto the Charioteer, going from the reload of 6.6 seconds for the 20-pounder AT Type A and 6.3 seconds of the Type B, down all the way to 5.5 and 5.8 seconds. So you're going to have a nice increase to your DPM of about nearly 10%, really, over 10%, which is very, very good for this tank, and especially if you use the 20-pounders, because, yeah, I think it will help you get through the grind, as Wargaming have kind of highlighted here. It will help you with the grind as you make your way to the powerful 105, and yes, as with the rest of them, your ammo count has gone increased. You should never really be losing games because you run out of ammo. It's kind of different if you're just derping rounds into a wall sat at the back of the map for some reason, but yeah, for the most part, if you're actually playing, you should never have to run out of rounds, and that'd be the reason why you couldn't win. Yeah, I'm glad that Wargaming have increased the rounds. Maybe they'll look at some of the other tanks like the FV215B, the heavy tank at tier 10. Of course, the Challenger tank, here we go, also getting buffs to all of its guns pretty much, so you'll be able to have better reloads and penetration dependent on the tank gun that you're going to be using. You'll also get that with the Achilles, the Archer, and also some of the premium vehicles, which you'll probably be glad to know if you play any of them, with the Vindicator Charioteer getting its reload increased very, very significantly from 6 seconds all the way down to 5.2. That's almost a 15% increase to its DPM, which is, yeah, fairly significant. That's like having rapid loading 1.5 times over, and you know how influential rapid loading perk is in World of Tanks. We also have accuracy getting buffed, which is nice. Same with the kind of rest of them. You know, you've got lots of buffs, speed and stuff like that, respective of the type of class it is. If it's an FV 4005 line, you've got the reload and ammo. If it's the AT kind of line, the Diamondback, etc., you're getting speed increases and penetration. But other than that, you also get a 50% silver discount on any of the tier up to tier 6 tank destroyers line, so that's really, really good. So that's including both lines, the FV 4005 and the Badger and FV 215B183 line, so that is really, really good. And you also get a 30% silver discount on any of the tier 7 all the way up to the tier 10, so if you don't have any of these or you want to buy them back and try them again, 30% silver discount is very, very nice. And alongside that, you get your typical 25% XP bonus on every tank in a specific line. And yeah, I think that this is very, very good for any of you grinding towards any of these. And if you don't own either the FV 4005 or the FV 215B, what are you doing? Go towards it this week and the following week and get your hands on these vehicles. They are just unbelievable to be able to do 1450 alpha damage consistently with the Hesh, and on the odd occasion swap to your HE rounds where you'll do 1650 once again. Yeah, you will be able to roll over 2,000 damage once again with the 25% bonus RNG. If you get lucky, of course, high rolling by that much, which I guess is very nice. So you can still one-shot a lot of tier 10 mediums if you get really, really lucky, and they have the lower health mediums at tier 10, but definitely won't be able to one-shot very many heavy tanks at tier 10. Other than that, we will move on to the rest of the news and catch you there. Now, some key things to understand about this next update for December 7th. As if you're watching this, if you're kind of waiting around for the update to download, you'll know exactly how big the update is. But if you haven't kind of managed to get to your PS4, PS5, Xbox One or Xbox Series X/S, the updates will be varying from about 2.44 gigabytes all the way up to 4.24 for your Xbox One. So unfortunately, Xbox players, you're going to have the higher gigabyte updates, which isn't necessarily that bad, to be honest. There's very minor differences. But as with this video, the new season, British Invasion, is here. So yes, you'll be able to jump on, you'll be able to take a look at the season pass today and get your hands on it. Let me know what you actually think of the season pass. Are you happy with the fact that they've released multiple Cold War premium vehicles and barely any World War II, other than the fact that they're just releasing some World War II premiums that were already in the game? So let me know what you actually think about that. I think it's a little bit annoying. Of course, as with this update, we will be getting 4 new, well, not new, but updated maps coming back into the game. Lakeville, one of my favourite maps within the game. Teepval Ridge, another favourite of mine. Rizani, once again, another favourite. These are all a fantastic set of maps. Erlenberg, probably not so much, as I like to call it, Campenberg. It's very much a TD map and rewards players for kind of camping, at least for the most part, unless you are kind of a very aggressive player and you can push that flank. But yeah, for the most part, it's not my favourite map. But 3 out of 4 ain't bad, and it's definitely looking good. Now, for the keen-eyed of you who have been sticking on with the video and actually looking, the graphics update is coming to the game, and so you'll be able to get some updated HUD, at least within the garage. So we won't be seeing the World War II HUD within this update, but hopefully very, very soon. Wargaming have actually confirmed that they will be looking into actually producing the World War II HUD back into the game, as it was previously in Update 6.0, but it will take some time, and they're not going to be releasing it any time soon. But the graphics update is here. You can see we have the Cold War. It's looking very, very different. It looked kind of nice. I think it looks decent. You've also got the update in the top here. You've got different things here with the contracts having their own separate tab. And as of recording this video, go into your contracts tab and be able to have a look at the Chisel contract, which is released within World of Tanks right now. And that's a very, very good one. Let me know what you think of the Chisel. Have you got it yourself, or are you going to be grinding your way all the way up to get that tier 10 mercenary tank that is very, very competitive within the game? Now, graphics update. What else have you got? Well, obviously you can see right here that the post-battle results screen has been updated, so we've got a bit better of a screen right here, so you can see all of the typical stuff that you usually see. You've also got your medals, your scoreboard, much like it was previously, so I'm liking the look of this. And we've also got, of course, the load-in screen, and you will have a brand new garage when you jump into it, and you'll have the forward operating base, or FOB, as your fellow soldiers take a break. So yeah, you'll be seeing a brand new garage. Make it sound like it's so awesome, but realistically it's just another updated garage, and I don't want to be spending too much time in the garage because that means that you aren't playing or you've been taken out. So I'd much rather be in the game on those new maps. Of course, the various elements have been relocated to free up space and allow you to enjoy the garage scenery. And also, boosters have been relocated, and the boosters display has been added to the tank info panel on the right hand side, along with the button prompt to access them. So when you click on your tank, as with the typical thing where you have your skills and everything like that, it will be up there with the boosters instead of being down in the bottom left, which is always nice. I think that's going to tidy it up a little bit. And also the game mode and battle button. Game mode and battle buttons have been moved below the tank reel, so you can see all 3 as you go to enter battle, and this helps give the player easy visual confirmation of the tank you have selected, apparently. Yeah, let's test that out later on and see whether Wargaming have actually made it easy. They still haven't allowed you to have a prompt to say that you haven't got a commander in your tank, which is really annoying. Other than that, contract system is back and the chisel is back, as we've talked about. So get in there, sign up, and work your way towards the chisel. Now, we've also got, of course, talking about the 4 graphically updated maps. Only 2 or 3 of them are available in Cold War, and of course all of them are available in World War II, but only one of them is available between tiers 3 and upwards, which is Lakeville, and all of the rest are tier 5 and upwards. So if you're playing tier 4 or below, you're not going to be able to get in Tietval Ridge, Erlenberg, or Rezanai, and all 3 are fantastic maps, to be honest. Erlenberg not so much, but there we go. Map balance changes have also happened. I'm not going to go through these in detail. We went through them in the last update news video, so you can have a look at those. But you can see Redshire, Kalbang, Canals, Mannerheim, Kasserine, Steppes, Heilbronn, and Cold War PvE maps have all been updated. It's mainly just the spawns. Not only that, we've got tank balance updates for Cold War, so if you're interested in your Cold War mode, then this is the section you want to be looking at, where we basically see some massive updates to some of the underpowered tanks within the game mode, and them being the M113, of course that weird looking kind of high power rifle tank with the 106mm railgun, the reload from 8.1 down to 7.5, so we've got DPM buff, we've also got accuracy buffs and aim time buffs, shot dispersion down and after shot dispersion, so you're going to be way more accurate, deal way more DPM and be able to be more accurate. Of course, that's for both guns, and then the PT-76, you're going to have basically more health, only a minuscule amount. Rotation speed goes up and reload goes down, meaning you have better DPM and better accuracy after firing. You've also then got the M1 Abrams that's got better HE. This has happened for a lot of the tanks. They've basically increased the HE damage of all of them, because when do you ever actually fire HE in pen within Cold War? Very rarely, so yeah, there's even less of a reason to actually fire HE when you're dealing like 30 more damage than a standard penetration, which is very easy to do. Not only that, the T-72A has been nerfed, so yes, you will see the view range decrease in the tank, so you won't be able to be the spotting heavy tank, light tank, medium tank destroyer T-72A anymore, so be aware of that. Same with the T-72AV, got its view range nerf, so yeah, no longer a light tank, heavy tank, medium tank destroyer. Of course, then we've got the World War II and the British tank destroyers, and the T2 light tank has also had its matchmaking change from tier 2 to tier 3, so it becomes preferential and no longer can meet tier 4s. Furthermore, this video's coming on to be a pretty packed one, and that is the tanker rewards improvement. So when you receive your monthly rewards, there will now be a notification that pops up. You also get a logs tab entry for what you actually receive, so if you miss out on what the pop-up was, just go to your log section on the profile tab, go into the log, check out what you actually received as part of your monthly rewards. Not only that, other improvements include the communication radio icon updated, post-battle results screen now displays tank tier and class on the efficiency report, improved the name of the option for changing the minimap, health bar will now flash while a hull patch kit is active, jungle camouflage section has been renamed to summer, so you'll basically have summer camos instead of jungle, you'll get improved Spanish translation for various commander skills, and map name added to the map overview display. And not only that, we won't go into all of these, I'm not going to bore you, but here is the big list of all of the changes Wargaming have done, and you can see all of them right here. So stop the video if you want to check out some of them. It's basically a lot of the bugs and stuff that were in the game and some kind of quality of life updates, not massive ones. They're basically like, yeah, for example, challenge reroll text no longer displays on other challenges. So, you know, when you had that thing in the garage where you'd look at a challenge and it would kind of overlay and then you can't read one of them, basically they fixed that. Those are the sort of buffs that have actually been done with this one, and some of the buffs with the bugs even with the tanks in the game, like the Object 260, 752, etc., are all getting properly worked out and looking better now within the game. So that's always good. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Of course, let me know what you actually think of the update. Would you change anything? Are you disappointed that there is not as much World War II content as you might have liked, even though there is, of course, the new World War II update to the FV215B183 and the FV4005. Hopefully you did enjoy this video once again, and if you want to check out some other videos, we've done some pretty nifty gameplay within the FV4005 that I'll link on screen, and you'll be able to check out some of the other gameplay and update news from World of Tanks on my channel if you want to. Of course, subscribe if you're not, and hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you didn't, make sure to let me know why, and if you want me to change anything, then let me know why as well. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you'll join me in the next one tomorrow. Goodbye.